I'm a British expat who's lived in China for coming up to 3 years now, and this is going to be a video about personally my worst experience yet here in China. Welcome back to the Barrett channel for a brand new video today with myself, Ollie. Now this is a video I didn't really want to have to make, but sometimes, you know, when you run into bad experiences, it's important to voice your opinion about them, especially when we have the audience that we do. We, on this channel, as you're probably aware, we tend to show the good side of China, and there's a lot of great things about living here. There's a lot of things that are very impressive and that are worth showing to the outside world, because quite often people outside of China get a very distorted image of what it's like to live here. Unfortunately, this is going to be one of those videos where it is something that I really didn't enjoy, to say the least. It was a very, very frustrating situation that we found ourselves in, and I'm going to lay a little bit of context to start with. So, coronavirus has been going on for the past couple of years, and as you may or may not already be aware, China, ever since the start, have had a zero COVID policy. It's always when you're going to do a video and then someone starts cutting down trees with a chainsaw. What? As you may or may not already be aware, when China has a few cases in a particular city, they take things very, very seriously. There'll be often mass testing of that area, or even the whole city. There will be buildings that will be put into lockdown. There will be very strict rules in getting into shopping malls, into getting into any public spaces like on the metro. There's been a few times here in Shenzhen alone where we've been needing to have a 48-hour COVID test result even to be able to get into a shopping mall or get onto the metro line. So they do take things very, very seriously. Now, everybody in China will have a health code. There's two different types of code. There's a health code and there's a travel code. If your health code is green, you should be allowed into everywhere. However, if your travel code can be green. However, if you've been in a city where there has been a case, even one case, you will have a little star, an asterisk on your travel code to say that you've been in this city, and it's possible, although unlikely, it's possible that you may have come into contact with somebody who has contracted the virus. Now, if you do have that asterisk on your travel code, you will most certainly need a 48-hour COVID test result when traveling around to different cities. So that lays the groundwork a little bit. My British friend Jordan, who you will have seen on the channel recently in a couple of videos we did together, he actually has left China now and he's gone back to live in the UK. But just before he was leaving, we wanted to do a little bit of traveling together, make some videos. So we decided to go to these three places. Firstly, Wuhan, then we were going to travel over to Zhangjiajie, and then over to Changsha. Now, these three places are quite close to each other, although the two biggest cities, Wuhan and Changsha, are in two separate provinces. So, as advised by the government, we have to get a 48-hour test result before we travel anywhere. So we did that. We arrived in Wuhan and we had no problems. Checked into the hotel, did our traveling, and then on, I don't remember the exact day, but this is in January, towards the end of January, we traveled. We got a train from Wuhan to Zhangjiajie. Zhangjiajie is the place where Avatar was inspired from. So it's the famous Avatar Mountains. We wanted to go and see the scenery over there. So it took a 6-hour train, and we arrived about 9:30 p.m. in Zhangjiajie. And we went to leave the train station and we got pulled aside. And usually that happens because they want to check our passport and they want to register us manually, whereas the Chinese people can register automatically when they scan their ID card. However, they have to do foreigners separate, so no alarm bells were ringing at this point. So we go to register, and the guy who is greeting us at the train station, he wants to see our travel code and our health code, which is no problem. We showed him both, and he saw that we have the little asterisk, the star I was talking about, on our travel code, because at that time, Shenzhen, the city we both lived in or live in, had a couple of cases. So nationwide, if that's the case, as I mentioned before, all you need to have is a 48-hour COVID test result in order to, get past that stage. So we show him the test results, and he is